Tonight, we're gonna do the sequel of difficult conversation session. Thank you, Nenad. And the idea is to go even further than the last time. So last time we did how to receive the verbal attack, how to regulate yourself, how to remember what your intention is, and how to respond properly from the center state and the state of grounded positioning. It's very important that when we get in a situation where we are verbally attacked, it can be at home by a family member, it can be at work or on the street. What usually happens is that our nervous system gets into the sympathetic mode, and it's either fight or flight. We just make a wall in front of us and we are ready to, fight or flight, or somebody also freezes. And this is not usually the most useful response. So what we are doing is we are trying to get back into our somatic sphere to understand where are the sensations in the body, to really feel this attack, but not to react on it, but to do some exercises which will help us to stay centered, and then with our own pace to calm the attacker or calm the other person which is confronting us and we are having argue with. So the idea is actually to go again through this model 4R. So receive, regulate, and then remember, and then respond, but in a way which will calm the other person, because we always have to remember this other person is also in the affect, and we cannot really talk to this person like we usually do because they cannot hear our logical arguments. So what we usually do if we are like in a fight with some of our family members and arguing, we try to bring on the best argument and we expect them to understand it and say, oh, yes, sorry, you're right, I'm wrong. I didn't realize this. But actually, what really happens, they cannot hear us, right? So why? And this is going to be short. But what Dan Sigal, my friend, which I met 4 years ago in Stockholm, he's professor at UCLA, he explained is there's two amygdalas games. So what is happening, you can actually imagine your brain like this. So basically, you have prefrontal cortex. These are the fingers, but the palm is actually your limbic system, and the amygdala is part of it. So if you do with your palm, you can actually do it on your side as well. Put your hands like this, right? So what you want to do is realize that your brain works in this way. So you have a limbic system which is alarming your body, when you are in danger. It doesn't have empathy. It doesn't have any function in your logical thinking. It just has a function to get you out of the problem as fast as possible. So it's either fight or flight, right? And there is prefrontal cortex, which is used for the logical thinking, for like bigger picture, for conscious decision making, and so on. So what happens when somebody is triggered, and we all have different triggers and we all have different traumas and so on. So if we trigger somebody, what happens is that they takes the lid off here from prefrontal cortex, and your amygdala starts to, scream basically. Your amygdala wants to get in the fight because it's now work of sympathetic nervous system, and you cannot do anything about it until you get calm and relax. If you are in a fight with a person who is like this, so their amygdala took over, it makes no use to talk and try to convince this person in a logical manner that they are wrong, because you don't have a conscious person in front of you anymore. This is the person who is in fight or flight state, and the only way to regulate them is to regulate their amygdala. And what do we do then? We need to stay like this. So what we have is also amygdala, limbic system, and prefrontal cortex. So first thing that we need to do is make sure that we stay calm, that we stay like this, because if our natural instinct is also to go like this, and then you have two amygdalas, fighting, and it's really, really hard to be, conscious about the consequences that can be made, and you forget your intention with this person, and this is where the fights happen, right? So first, we make sure to stay calm, and then with our pace, we can actually bring back this person to center. We can make this other person calm, which is the goal of our session tonight, to learn how to do this. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So whenever you get into the fight, just remember this position. So really, you can do this with your hand and like practice it a bit. So this is what happens. So what we want this state. So where we are talking to the logical part of the brain, which can make conscious decisions, have a bigger picture, and amygdala is, retained, and not it is not firing all over the place. So how we do this, and this is the last scientific term that I'm going to use, I hope, tonight. So what we have is these mirror neurons. So these mirror neurons, they are firing this in the same way if something is happening to us and if something is happening to the other person. So this is why we all have this, situations when somebody start to yawn, like in our surroundings. So everybody start yawning, right? So this is why we feel empathy, because we can logically understand when somebody is suffering around us. But if we see somebody suffering, we really feel that. Or if somebody gets hurt, we feel it. We like uh, feel it in our body, actually. And this is how we also regulate. So this is why it's much more effective to use, psychiatrist, live person than like ChatGPT psychiatrist, because we regulate in communication with other person as well. And this is what we are using when we are verbally attacked, when we are in a difficult conversations. So we use mirroring, right? And we try to calm this person because their mirror neurons, they are gonna calm their amygdala, and then we can get to their prefrontal cortex, and they can understand what we are trying to accomplish together, right? So we can start solving the problems. Before that, you don't even need to try logically to explain to somebody who is in this state, because they are just going to get more triggered, because they will feel that maybe offended. And at the end, everybody has its own or their own truth. So sometimes, or many times, both persons in the fight are right, because they see the reality in a different way. So you cannot win in this way. And the only way to win is win together. while you get the other person to get calm. And so this is what we're gonna do today. Okay, so let's start with the practice. I just want to ask you to close your eyes and make a couple of deep breaths. So inhale through your stomach, diaphragmatic breathing, and then while exhaling, lower your shoulders, relax your jaw, relax all the muscles in your body. And while you are breathing, you can feel the surface beneath your feet, beneath your back, and feel this surface and feel the clothes on your body. Let the thoughts just move on in front of you like the clouds on the sky. These thoughts might seek your attention, but you just smile and say, "This is my time, which I want to use focusing on something else. Thank you very much. Mind that you are bringing all these thoughts over and over again throughout my day. But thanks, I'm just gonna let it pass now and focus on what's currently happening in my body. Don't forget to breathe. Make another deep breath in. Feel this energy filling up your body, and then with exhale through your mouth as long as possible. Feel like the whole body is relaxing and pressing the surface which you are sitting on, lying on. 2 more breaths. Enjoy the opportunity to bring this gift, this air, this energy of love surrounding us into your body, and then let it go. Let everything go out with what's not needed. Completely relax. Now let's go one more time. Fill out your stomach, your lungs, all the alveolus completely in, and then through your mouth, like through the straw. Slowly breathe out and relax your body. Enjoy 10 seconds in this peace. And now let's continue. You can keep your eyes closed. Let's continue with the exercise today. So first, we're gonna receive the verbal attack. Please imagine the person that you usually have verbal conflicts, that you have hard conversations with in front of you. And imagine this person is telling you the things that you really don't want to hear, that you really don't appreciate. Recall some things from the past or anticipate something which might happen in the future. And vividly imagine this person criticizing you or yelling at you or just being passive aggressive again. And now bring the focus of your attention on your body and try to identify the strongest sensation as a response to these words that you don't like. Where is it? Do you feel it in your chest mostly? Do you feel it in your stomach? Maybe in your shoulders? Is it in your neck? Try to feel this energy, asking for your intention. And then when you identified this area, we're just gonna do another more breath in through this area, for example, for 3 seconds. In, 2, 3, and then exhale through it. Focus on this area. Exhale, make it through your mouth, like through the straw. And now relax this part of your body. And another one. Make a couple of seconds long breath in and then twice as long breath out while relaxing this part. This is what you can actually do whenever you feel a tension in a certain part of your body or even pain from the injury. You can use this to heal yourself. But get back to the person that you are talking to and having difficult conversation with. And now that we understood how these words and how this attack is influencing our body, this is what we're going to visualize while we are talking to this person and looking at this person. So it's called soft front, strong back. So what we want to do is keep our front open, and we do it best by keeping breathing in through our stomach and then chest. Make sure you put your hands on the stomach and try to, while you're breathing in, your hand is moving upwards. And keep your front open. We want to keep the connection with this person. What we usually do, we close. We put a wall between us. And this is what other person amygdala senses. And we cannot really reconnect and get towards our intention. So we keep ourselves open, but then with one breath out, you imagine like the strong back of yours, like your spine is made of steel, and how you exhale, your spine becomes a steel. So you are keeping this support on your back while still being open in front. So this is what you need to remember. Soft front, strong back. So don't make a wall in front of yourself, but there is a strong back which supports you. Just visualize your spine is made of steel, it supports you, you're okay. And now you are looking at this person, talking the things that you don't like. And what we are trying to do is to imagine this person as a 5-year-old child whose wishes are not met, whose needs are not met. and this child is screaming because of it, making a tantrum. And this is not that we are doing this to make fun of this person across us, but it's to feel the empathy for this person, because this person is obviously not in a conscious state, and we are trying to make our perception according to what's really happening. From this position, we can act much more favorable towards our goal. So just visualize this person now as a 5-year-old child, still yelling, but your body is gonna change its posture, because the mind cannot really differentiate between what's really going on and what we are imagining. So when you start imagining like this, your posture will change, and this other person across us is gonna feel it, and their amygdala is gonna get calmer. And what you can also do is, while you're imagining, you don't look directly at their eyes, but you are using your peripheral sight. So imagine now looking at this person, but as you are obviously have this experience, you can also see the ceiling, you can see the floor, you can see the things on the left from this person and on the right. So what is this doing is actually sending a signal to your body that everything is okay, because the prey and the predator, they have a tunnel vision. So what we want to have is our wider vision. You can be more aware of the environment, which is also very useful when you're in a fight, but also you're gonna calm your nervous system, and this person across you is gonna feel it. So just imagine looking at this person but having a wider vision by using your peripheral vision. And what you can do to receive this attack, imagine your body as the golden net. So the arrows which go from this person towards you, they're going through this net and they cannot really harm you. You can use any of these exercises in the middle of the verbal conflict. You will see what is the best for you. Basically, you don't have to do all of them, but the first goal to receive this impact can be really successfully accomplished in this way. And you are already starting to regulate the other person. So this is what I call the Aikido move, because in Aikido you're using your opponent's strength and their energy, but they cannot really harm you with it. So with this golden net and with soft front and strong back, we are avoiding their energy to affect our nervous system. And we are keeping our amygdala communicating with our prefrontal cortex. So we don't need to say anything during this phase, right? We're just being there, aware. So the next phase is regulate. So what we want is to further regulate ourselves, but also to regulate the other person. How do we do that? First, your posture is very important. So usually when we are in a conflict, we lean towards this person. almost like if we are standing or if we are sitting, we are on our, on our front side of our feet. So what we want to lean back. We want to lean back in our chair, but we also want to feel like we did at the start. We want to feel uh, our feet, touching the floor. So feel the pressure of your feet on the floor. You can really press it. Press the bottom of your feet on the floor. And this is very powerful for the grounding. And this person, other person is feeling this. So it's very important that you lower your center of gravity down. You can even, do a bit, get yourself lower so you can bend your knees a bit, if you're standing. And you can even imagine like the roots going from the bottom of your feet into the floor. So to ground ourselves. And if you focus on the bottom of your feet, you will feel the energy now in this part of your body. And it also calms our nervous system and calms the other person nervous system, right? And the next thing, if you are talking about the posture, is also you can turn a bit on the side from this person. It also gives them the information that they are not in danger, that we don't want to fight. We are just sliding a bit on the side, still looking at them. You can just, maybe if you're standing, make it, you're standing more on one feet or another on one leg. So you are sending the signal to them that it's not going to be a, direct confrontation. It's going to be uh, calming the situation. You can even just, if you're sitting and if you have a pen or something, you can just move it on the table, you know, not just looking straight at this person with body towards it. Just make it comfortable and you make yourself comfortable. If you still feel nervous, what you can do, and these are all the exercises that I'm giving you, which the other person cannot really see that you are doing in the middle of the conversation. That's very important because otherwise they would get offended. So one way how to calm yourself unnoticed is called pendulum. So we did it also the last time we did difficult conversation. So just turn your focus if you feel, and we learned how to feel the sensation in our body so that we can start the exercise. Because what we usually do is we just start attacking this person back and, forth and so on. But if we let this energy be felt in our body, then we can work with this energy. It's very powerful. So now if you still feel it in this part, in this phase of the conversation, we do pendulum. So it means that you just focus on one part of the body which doesn't feel stressed. It can be your elbow, it can be your knee, it can be your ear. There are so many parts in your body, which are not stressed, which you feel totally fine. So why now not use them as a pendulum, as an anchor? So what you're gonna do if you are just recalling your body now, if you seeing this person across of you, telling the words which you don't appreciate, feel it in your body, but then make breath in and focus on your breath out on a part of your body which feels very calm. For example, your left elbow. And if you feel, for example, the stress in your chest, the energy, in your chest, you can just While you are breathing, you can focus on your elbow and then get back for a second on your chest and then focus again on your elbow and then focus on your chest, breathe through it. And just you can do it like in a couple of seconds and you will get calmer because you are aware that there's so many parts of your body which are totally grounded, totally fine, totally calm, and that you shouldn't be so much moved by just this part which is stress. You can calm this part as well. So this is what we can do also in these ways to regulate ourselves. But let's get back to this person. So what we want to do is first make this posture. So ground ourselves, focus on your feet, press it to the ground and turn away a bit. And then you can also use your voice if you want to say something. And usually you will wait for the pause because these people also need to breathe, even though they're putting so much up. So just focus. When there is a pause, you can start talking, but talk like at least 20% slower than you usually do and lower your voice and then end the sentences like in a down tone. And try to talk analytically. So try to engage them into thinking like you can ask analytical question. Okay, how can we find 3 ways in order to solve it, for example? Or like what should we, if there is in the office and somebody's not happy with your work or whatever, and you just ask him, what do you think how it all started? For example, whatever question you can ask, which will engage their mind, because their mind cannot be at the same time focused on, how stressed they are and how unsatisfied they are and so on, and follow what you are saying at the same time, specifically if it's an analytical question. So it takes a bit of exercise, like which exact step in the procedure you are talking about, which you are not satisfied. Of course, if you're talking with your colleague, whatever. Or if there is like with your spouse or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend, like, for example, what exact moment this morning you realize this is the problem or whatever. And then they start thinking they're gonna get calmer just because of that. And their amygdala is gonna get back into the state in which you can really talk to their prefrontal cortex. And also, if you start, for example, if you have the pen and paper, you start writing what you're saying. So, okay, let's see what are the 3 steps. And when they then start looking at it, they're gonna get out of this state. So now from the calm state, you are calming their nervous system, which is very important. So actually, this is the power of co-regulation, these mirror neurons. So you are influencing the relational field because now you have a relational field, your amygdalas were in fight, you become more aware because you have more inner capacity, maybe because you're coming to our sessions or looking at the video practicing. And now it's up to you not only to calm yourself, but to calm this other person in this way. Whatever, if you stick to you being calm long enough, they get calm as well. So what is important then is actually not to get, when they get calm, and they will for sure if you do this, and if you have this approach, then it's not important just to show that what you did, it feels good when you realize, but you have not to let your ego to overcome and say, you see, that you shouldn't, yell, that you shouldn't make fuss about everything and so on. You see, it's so easy, right? So what is your goal then when you get them, into this state? Is first to remember what your real intention is. So focus from proving that they are wrong, focus from, proving how unfair they are, and like your body screaming, I don't want to get into this situation ever again. And you try to then make sure that they realize, they cannot, act like this. Of course, sometimes if somebody is too, pushy and like offending you and so on, you don't have to keep up with it, and we're gonna go through it as well. But basically, if it's not the situation in which you are attacked like physically and like somebody doesn't respect you enough and you heard loads of things, you can just get back to the intention of how you want to move on with this person. What's your goal together, working together? And this is the most powerful thing when you, in the midst of this struggle and this confrontation, you get the realization and you put your focus of attention like, what's really my goal? Do I want to keep this relationship? Do I want to make this relationship better? Do I want to finish this project on time with this colleague? Do I want this client of mine to continue working with me, and so on? But maybe I want to put some boundaries, right? And like, then you can really influence. So this is the remember part. And then we go to respond part. So respond part is not about, you just react. Respond is from the state of your center and from the state of being grounded and being aware what's going on in your body, but don't allowing this energy to bring up all the things that you are stored down somewhere, which eventually you want to go out, but in a way to integrate them and not take it on another person and make even more problems. So what you want is actually to communicate. You can even stay silent. It's also a way of communication. But you just imagine yourself now from this state. Okay, let's just do from this. It's important to be in this state. So I'm talking too much, and it's much more powerful when you are doing this actually live. And what we do is in the workshops, you are talking to the other member in the group, and you can really feel it. And you are playing roles. Somebody attacks you, then you are attacking. But now, if we can use this opportunity to imagine this person again, so close your eyes. Make a deep breath in, relax on your breath out. Imagine this person once again in front of you, and let's do the whole exercise before we respond, right? So imagine this person yelling at you, saying the words that you don't like, accusing you of something, or like just being passive aggressive in front of you. And now feel it in your body, where it is. And now let's do the soft front, strong back. Make a breath in, open up, open your front, and then breath out. Imagine your spine becoming the one of steel, and it supports you from the back. So whatever happens, you have a support on the back, but energetically you are open in the front. So now visualize this person as a 5-year-old, 5-year-old child, which needs are not met, but it's not your fault that this person cannot handle their emotions. They are expressing things unaware of how it influences the relationship and that they cannot accomplish anything. But you are aware, that's what it's important. So while visualizing this person as a 5-year-old child, just open up your peripheral view. So look at the same time, up in the ceiling where your eyes are on this person, down on the floor, on the left and right. It's gonna calm your nervous system as well. And this person is gonna feel it, that they are not in danger, they're not gonna be attacked, they're getting calm. Do a couple of more breaths, in and out, relax while you're breathing out. And imagine your body that it's really a golden net, like fisherman's net. And these arrows of energy are passing through you. These words and this energy cannot harm you, and you feel it. And now we're going to ground ourselves, focus on your feet, press it against the floor. Even imagine the small roots are getting into the floor. These are your roots connecting you with the ground, and you put your center of gravity lower. Nothing can move you. Your energy is open up, it's still flowing. You're breathing in freely and breath out, relaxing. And now imagine that you are talking slower to this person and calmer and talking about analytical questions. So you're asking, when does it first started? What are the three things? Or how can you go towards the problem? And you position yourself a bit on the side from this person. And you can see how this person is getting calmer because it's thinking about what are really the three things, and you are not under attack and he or she are not under attack anymore. You're having calmer words and you are gazing, so no tunnel view. And now from this center position, you just recall with this particular person, what's really your intention? What do you want out of this relationship? Maybe it's a conversation that you were avoiding for a long time, and now think about it. What is really intention with this client, with this colleague, with this partner, friend, or whatever? And now, from this position, you can speak to this person. And what would you say? So, what you can say first is to continue this regulation of this person is validation. remember what you would say before I said this to you, but the small tips and tricks is validation of their state. You know, I can feel your frustration, or I can understand your anger or disappointment or whatever. So it's very important that you validate their situation, and this is going to open them up for the next thing that you are about to say. And then you can go with a solution or boundary. So a solution can be like, let's sit down and write how we gonna solve this, or like what we do now is maybe this and that. Or if this person came too far, you can say, and you should say, I understand your frustration, but I cannot keep in this tone. Let's make a break and let's come back at 10, 15 minutes to talk. So you need to set the boundary, because as much as you regulate yourself, you shouldn't allow somebody who cannot regulate to, be get you into the situation which can endanger you, which can harm you or whatever. So basically, you might feel this as a superpower that you can regulate yourself. Sometimes, for some people, it's impossible to regulate them, and then you just have to move, like in 1% of the situation, move from the situation, get out. Don't act like hero, or just set a boundary and say, okay, let's make a break now. But what is the greatest thing about this is that you will feel while practicing this that you will get more confident into talking to people and giving them the feedback, asking them for what you think it's fair and it's right. And generally, these people are going to be much happier talking to you. So, and this is the way how can we use our practice to make the world a better place. So what is the task for the next time we see each other? Or let's say for the next 2 days, even better. Let's make a homework. So I would kindly ask you to make this conversation, difficult conversation that you were avoiding and postponing, start maybe with somebody who is a bit easier, who you don't have to confront so hard, and just go through these steps, become aware of the changes in your body and practice how to regulate it before this conversation a bit, and then do it, because it's all about the practice, it's all about the real life experiences, and use the opportunities to grow. So that would be the greatest accomplishment of our session if you start using this. And you are free to, share with me your experiences and feedback, and I would really appreciate it very much. And before we go, it's just one more thing which I would like to ask you. Let's close our eyes for one more time. Let's make a couple of deep breath ins and breath outs. With every breath in now, feel like the whole energy of love which is surrounding us is getting into our body. And with the breath out, we are creating a big balloon of this energy surrounding us, this energy of love. So really imagine like air which we are breathing, we are taking this energy of love in our surrounding. Feel it in your body, feel like the whole body is vibrating with this energy of love. And with breath out, you are growing this balloon by pushing the air in it, which is surrounding you and becoming bigger and bigger. Let's do 3 more. We made a flow through our body of this energy, and you can feel it in every part of your body. Your cells are filling out with this energy of love, and then we are releasing this excessive energy of love in our surroundings into this balloon, which is getting bigger and bigger. So grow this balloon as bigger as possible. You can feel this energy in your body connected with this energy of love in the balloon. And now imagine that this balloon is being sent by all of us together into the parts of our planet which are suffering now, immersory or because of the war. You can imagine it wherever you want, in the Middle East, in Palestinian, like in Iran, and all these parts in Ukraine, in Russia, all these parts in the world where you feel the calling to send this energy of love. Imagine this balloon getting above this region, and now it's showering this energy of love. It's opening up and showering this energy of love on all these people who are at the moment in need of this energy, who are suffering at the moment. So imagine all of these people are receiving the energy that we created together tonight. And you can imagine the smile on their faces, and this is what we all wish for them. This is called Maharishi effect. There were some scientific studies. I don't know how true it is, but I know that healing in a distance is helping many people at the moment. And I guess we cannot make any harm with this, only good for us and our surrounding, and hopefully for these regions as well. And with this, I thank you very much for being tonight with me. Appreciate you all for taking the time to work towards your inner development, towards your full potential, making your surrounding better and healthier, and in this way also contributing towards the sustainable, happier world. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much. If you want to
Thank
share
you,
some.
Andrea. It was really a great session, so I really appreciate your time and your efforts. So I wish you a good night and let's continue next time.
Thank you very much, Lorente.
See you. Bye bye.
See you next time.